Vietnam right now, so it's like
Okay.
3:50
So
p.m.
it's
So
I guess
it's
2 hours.
must be, yeah. It's, what is it, 2:50 p.m. there, afternoon?
It's 1:50.
Oh, one. Okay, good. Yeah, 2 hours, perfect. Good timing. Good
All
timing for me. That's why I wanted to talk to you this week because
all right. Great,
it's
great,
when I'm in
great.
New York, it's harder. It's a little more difficult. But right now,
Sure.
it's
So
great.
let's
So
let's let's begin it. Since I guess the audience has started joining us meanwhile. Thank you very much
perfect.
for taking out your time, Tyson. It's always a pleasure having you around. And once again, we tried connecting in Ramadan, I remember, but I was not well, so we had to postpone that. And thank you very much for your understanding on that also.
No,
So
no,
yeah,
thanks so much. Yeah, I hope you had a great holiday.
yeah. Thank you for asking. Yeah, it all went really well. So now, what's happening in USA and what is happening with BPP? And what about you? Please start with your introduction a bit for the new audience we have. Generally, our people know
Sure,
you,
sure.
but those who
Okay,
don't know you, so over to you, sir.
absolutely. Well, I'm super happy to be here. Thank you, Mubarak. I was in Pakistan pretty recently in November last year, so 5 months ago, 6 months ago. We would love to have more applications from Pakistan. We have a good number already for this upcoming fall 2025 intake. So our next
Uh-huh.
intake is starting in September. We're getting more applications. That's a great thing. And we still want applications. There's still time to apply for the fall intake. So
Mhm.
definitely, I'm happy that you've got some students joining today. We want everybody to get their application submitted as soon as possible. It's still a good time to apply. We have students getting their visas approved from Pakistan for the USA. So uh, don't be too afraid. Sometimes the news is exaggerating. Sometimes they pick on one story. Uh, if you're a genuine student, if you're a good student, if you're coming to the U.S. to study, you're not going to have a problem. Okay, we have over 1 million international students in the U.S. Right? We have
Right, right.
a lot of international students.
Allow me
So
to cut you. Allow me to cut you here, Tyson. The
sure,
topic you have started with, that's the hot topic in Pakistan. I made a video on that myself. Also, it was in the local news over here that that Pakistan is being put in the orange list and Afghanistan in the red list, and there were some lists which I reconfirmed from the Fox News myself, and I spoke to the audience in general that that is not actually happening. It's just a news for the sake of news. Whenever something happens in USC, our media and our of course our students and we ourselves, we are too much keen about that. And you see, it's age of social media. So if it's 1% fact, it is propagated as 100% fact in general, which is a
right.
real concern and problem. And thank you very much for highlighting and clearing that for our students, especially. You're listening to the representative of BPP BPP group, and if such questions are circulating in your mind, also somewhere you would like to clear your idea, so we are available with you for at least next, I believe, 30 minutes, and we would surely try answering your questions. Also, I'll take your questions in the end. You can keep adding to the question bank we have, and at the same time, we would like to talk about the new opportunities we have, especially the scholarship opportunities we have. We would mention about generally study in USA and the pros and cons. Of course, I would say studying in USA in 2025 and 2026 onwards. Yeah, so I'll take your questions. Please keep sending us the questions. Meanwhile, so Mr. Tyson, how actually are we growing in USA in terms of our universities? I see there are new names at your panel, and recently we had interaction with Tahreem also, who was in our office from UMBC from your portfolio. She was a great, she's a gem. She likes basically the university herself very well. So when we listen to her, it's more like a story she's telling to everyone that why exactly should we be there. So she's like-minded
Wonderful.
lady. Yeah. So yeah, what special we have for our students, especially in terms of scholarships, if you could highlight, please.
Sure, sure. Yeah, that was great. I'm so glad Tahrim was able to visit your office. She loves UMBC, and yeah, UMBC is a great school. We have Pakistani students already at UMBC. A lot of STEM programs, master's programs in STEM, and yeah, I would encourage your students to apply. We have some application fee waivers as well, and UMBC has a good visa approval rate. Okay, so if you're interested in a master's program, definitely consider UMBC. We have a lot of support from Tarim. Some of the other universities we have, you're right, Mubarak. Thank you for noticing that. We've added a few universities as well. We work with the universities that are well known, established, high ranking universities because number one, it's a big investment. You're spending, even with the scholarship, right? You're spending a lot of money to come to the US and you want a good return on your investment. So, we're looking at universities that have a really great reputation. Rowan University, this is a new one. We just added this one to our list very recently. Rowan University. It's on the East Coast. It's near Philadelphia. It's about an hour and a half south of New York City. So it's a great location. It's the top 92 public university in the US. So top 100 public university. Rowan has both bachelor's programs and master's programs. For the bachelor students listening today, the scholarships at Rowan are very, very good. Okay, so the
All right.
tuition without any scholarships, the tuition for bachelor students is about $28,000 per year. It's a little bit expensive, right? But the scholarships are very good. So most students, if you have a 3.0 GPA, most students are getting about an $8,000 scholarship, $8 to $10,000. If you have a higher GPA, like 3.4, 3.5, we have some students getting 15 up to $19,000 per year. Okay, so this is a really, really good scholarship opportunity.
Did
And
I hear you right? You're talking about up to 19,000 US dollars scholarship, right?
correct. Yep, exactly. So this is a
And
really,
there,
really good scholarship opportunity. It's almost 70% scholarship, and it's not that difficult to get, right? You don't need SAT scores. It's based on your GPA. So if you have good grades from high school, you can get very, very good scholarships at Rowan. And again, this is a public university. So students will have a very good education, okay, at a very affordable price. It's a very safe environment, and you're located near big cities in the US. The location is very good. You're an hour and a half from the capital of the US, Washington, D.C. If you have family in Virginia, you're very close. If you have family in New York City, you're very close, an hour and a half, you know, hour and 45 minutes. So it's a great
I'm very
location.
sorry, Tyson. You are into very serious talk. At the same time, it reminded me of a song we had in the past. Country roads take me home to the state I belong. Do you remember that song?
There you go. Yeah, that's a good
So
one. I
yeah,
love that. I love that. That one
yes.
comes on my playlist every once in a while. So yeah, I know that.
All right. Okay. So you mentioned the Virginia. So it's the West Virginia he is going for. How's the student life in the campus over there? You're mentioning from the DC, it's 1.5 hour, right? So how
Mhm.
easily the students can communicate to roam around? You see, the Z generation we say now, they are the next levels. people, they want to enjoy their life like never before, I believe. So they're too much into the more than a learning environment. They are more into the routine, the day life, the night life, and all. So, as a
Sure.
student, what can they encounter over there?
Well, that's the best part about coming to the US, especially if you're a bachelor's student. And not just, I mean, Rowan is amazing. It's a large
Uh-huh.
university, so there are tons of activities on campus, student organizations, uh, sports, many, many
Mm-hmm.
different ways to get involved. So if you're coming to the US as a bachelor's student, you're in luck because you can really be a part of the American college experience, right? It's not just about academics. Obviously, the universities in the US have some of the best, if not the best, academic environment in the world, but also it's about the social activities as well, the networking, getting involved, participating in the extracurricular activities. The students who get involved and do those sort of activities outside the classroom, they excel, right? They get to meet people from different countries, not only American students, right? You're going to be friends with American students, but you're going to be friends with students from around the world. So
Okay.
take advantage of that. Take advantage of that. It's something that will help you grow, you know, socially. And whenever you go to apply for a job, even some of the employers are going to look at that. They're going to look at, were you involved outside the classroom? You know, so all of those things are going to really help you in your future. So yeah, the U.S. is perfect for that. These are large universities. That's what I like about Rowan. Like I said, athletics. There's tons of things to do on campus. Tons of events. It's a great place to get involved. Uh, a great experience, and it's safe. So for your families, if you're a young student, I can imagine like your parents are, oh my gosh, we're going to send our kid to the US. It's a long way away, but we have very, very good support from all of the university staff. They love international students. So you're going to be in a very safe place and you're going to make a lot of friends. There's a lot of support from the university and a lot of support from your fellow students, from the other student organizations on campus. So really, it's a great, it's a great experience. It's challenging. Okay, anytime you, even for an American student starting a bachelor's degree, wow, I mean that's uh, stressful. And especially you as an international student coming to the US, you're moving to a new country, you're starting something new. Of course, it's stressful, but you're going to learn a lot, you're going to grow a lot, and you're going to have a lot of support from the university staff and from other students. So I would do it. I recommend it.
All right, great, great. So, other than this university, what other new news we have, other new ventures we have where we can help students moving?
Yeah, so some of the other ones you can look at if you are a master's student. One that we're working with closely is Brandeis University. This is near Boston. So if you're
All
a
right.
master's student and you're looking for a really high potential master's degree, you can look at business analytics. We have a Master of Science in Business Analytics at Brandeis University. A lot of people have never heard of Brandeis
Yeah,
in Pakistan, but
that
it's
is something new.
famous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's famous in the US. So
All right.
what's great is when you get the degree from Brandeis, employers, companies, organizations in the US and even other countries, they know this university. It's the number
Mhm.
63 ranked university in the US. So it's a top 100 national university, Brandeis. Keep in mind, we have over 5,000 universities in the US, right? So many universities. So if you get a degree from a university like Brandeis, you're going to have so many job opportunities when you graduate. Okay. Is a job guaranteed? No. But our students, the students who graduate from Brandeis, they do very well. They have a very high job placement with big companies, and that's
Mhm.
because your degree is very valuable. Okay, so we like Brandeis a lot. What's great about Brandeis this year is they are offering $35,000 minimum scholarships. So if you're admitted, you'll get a $35,000 minimum scholarship. The average is 40,000. Okay.
All
So
right.
what is the tuition? Without any scholarships, the tuition is $71,000. Okay. So it's pretty expensive, right? We have a lot of students, they look at it and they say, wow, that's too expensive. I'm not going to apply. Keep in mind, minimum scholarship, 35,000. Okay. Most students get 40,000 scholarship. What does that mean? That means that your tuition, your total tuition for the entire master's degree, a year and a half, you do the master's degree in a year and a half, that means the total tuition will be about $31,000. Okay. And that is really a great value given the fact that this is such a high ranking university. Okay. I would definitely consider Rowan. Rowan's very good too. But consider
All right.
Brandeis. We have the application fee waivers. Okay, so students can apply no application fee, and the turnaround time is about 2 weeks. So we have a very fast turnaround time for the applications. Now you have to be a good student, right? Normally we need around a 3.0 GPA. So you need to be a really good student. But for those of
Uh,
you who have a good
pardon
GPA,
me to cut you here again, once again. Once
go
you said
ahead.
three
Go ahead.
GPA, three GPA. So, in Pakistan we have different GPA system, I believe, and in US we have a different GPA system. So, what do you mean by three GPA? Or can we talk that
Yeah,
in percentage? Yeah.
sure. Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now. That's a good question. Let me just double check. It depends on the university in Pakistan that you're coming from, but I
Okay.
believe it's around a 60%. But let me take a look here. I have it I have it pulled up on my screen. Just let me get to it. Some universities in Pakistan use the same grading scale that we use in the US. And then some
Okay.
universities use the percentage. I'm aware of that. So, like, for example, let's see, University of Karachi. I don't know if you have any
Mhm.
students coming from Karachi, maybe, but um, a 3.0 GPA would be somewhere around like 70%, 70 between 70 and 75%. But that's
Right.
University of Karachi. I don't know. What's another one that you have a lot of students from?
We have mostly students from ComStats University.
ComStats? Okay. Let me look
Yeah.
at ComStats here. I see ComStats. Let me just see what it is. Just a second.
Sure.
ComStats. Yeah, ComStats 75% would be around a 3.0.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Brandeis, keep in mind, this is one of the top universities in the US. So the requirement's a little bit higher. If you have students with a little bit lower GPA, don't worry. We have some other options as well. We have Rowan University for masters. Some of the programs can accept a lower GPA. Not all of them, but some programs can accept even a little bit lower GPA, which would be like, for example, 65, 70% from ComStats. Okay.
Right,
We have
right, right.
UMBC. We have certain programs at UMBC, like software engineering. Some the
Okay.
professors
Okay.
will they're going to look at the GPA, but they're going to look at the work experience. Maybe you
Sure.
have some experience outside the classroom. That's also going to help you if you have a lower GPA. So
Fine, fine, fine. Um, if I ask you some questions now onwards, I'm gonna be a very yeah, I'm going to be very inquisitive first of all, and secondly,
sure.
I'm going to ask questions which students generally ask coming in our offices, especially in our Peshawar office in general. We have more audience for USA, since the guys are somehow unable to move to Australia in general. So they like USA as their preference, and other than that, they feel like that UK is not their market. So they aim for USA a lot. So they ask me some basic questions, and
Good,
that's what.
good, good.
Some innocent questions I'm going to ask you. So, first of all,
Perfect.
what should be the lowest percentage of any student in his high school who can be accommodated through BPP group in USA? The lowest possible percentage in intermediate, and how much gap is generally acceptable?
Right, right. Okay. Yeah, that's a good question. So it really depends on the university.
Okay.
Normally, for students applying to a bachelor's program, normally we need around a 60%. Okay.
Okay.
That's approximately a 3.0 GPA. However, we do have universities that will accept 50%, which is a little bit below 3.0. So I would say if you have a 50% or higher, then we can definitely help you. I can't guarantee admission, but yeah, we have universities like Rowan, for example, that accept a 2.5 GPA, okay, for
All right.
bachelor's. So a
Okay.
2.5 GPA is going to be somewhere around a 50%. So
Fine,
yeah,
fine,
we
fine.
can take 50%, you'll have a very good chance of getting admitted. We'd love to help you.
How about the gap part? The second part of the question. So some students there
Yeah,
are
gap
there.
is
Yeah. Hmm.
the gap for the university is never a problem. You know, the gap, if it's too big of a gap, then you're gonna get the question at the visa interview, like why did you stop studying? What have you been doing for the last few years? So
All
that can
right.
be a question at the visa interview. But at the embassy, at the university, when you apply for admission, that's not a problem. The universities aren't going to ask.
All right. Okay. Second question we generally encounter, which we technically answer, but I am trying to ask questions so that the listeners who are here they should technically get
Sure.
the answer. So the second question
Sure.
we generally encounter is that sir, if we go to USA, what would be our overall cost for UG program and for PG program? So do we have any average in general that how much a student would have to technically bear or keep in mind? There are some students who are from a middle class background, but yes, they would like to study in USA. So can we do something for them? And if yes, then what's the average expense? If you could
Sure.
just give me a clue.
The most affordable universities we have are very good universities, and we have a lot of students coming. So, for example, Minnesota State, Mankato. This is a great public university. The tuition is
Yeah.
about $12,000 per year, and living
Yes.
expenses anywhere from 10 to 12,000 per year. It really depends on the student, on their
Okay.
on their living expenses, but you can choose a university that is affordable for tuition, like Minnesota State, Mankato, $12,000 per year tuition. It's not in a big city, so it's near a big city. It's about an hour away from Minneapolis, very big city, but it's outside the city, so the living expenses are lower. And if If you're frugal, you can spend $10,000 or $12,000 per year for living expenses, and that makes the total cost for 1 year, 24, $25,000, right? So it's still expensive. Okay, the U.S.
Okay.
is still, it's expensive to go to school in the U.S. You need, I would say, minimum $25,000 per year. Okay, you can work on campus, but you can't make enough money to support yourself for tuition and living expenses. You can't make that
All right.
much money living on
All right. So
campus.
a student
On
basically who
campus,
wishes to go over there for undergrad students, especially, sorry to cut you once again. Just to make
no,
it understandable for them is that they should not think in general as undergrad students that they should only have their first year fee or maybe a semester fee, but they should have enough with them so that they could really focus on their studies. Reason being, if they would focus more on their other parts, I would say like earnings and all, so it would be a struggle of earning as well as for learning, I guess. So the undergrad students basically, it's better that they calculate, and if the staff members are listening us meanwhile, so they should make sure that the students should know well in time. There should be no miscommitment and communication. Great. Okay.
that's right.
Fine.
That's right.
So, the next question which I generally encounter is that in UK the undergrad programs are 3 years and the postgrad programs are 1 year. So, what's the duration of undergrad and postgrad program in USA?
Right. So in the U.S., the bachelor's degrees are 4 years, and the master's degrees typically are a year and a half. A year and a half
All
for
right.
masters. It depends on the program, but generally a year and a half. So for bachelor students, if you've done, we have some students, for example, maybe they've done A levels, they've been doing the Cambridge A levels. Those courses are great because you can get college credit for those courses. Sometimes half a year, right? If you've taken 2 or 3 subjects at the A level, you can get maybe half a year of university credit. So that means you would only need to study for 3.5 years in university here.
Mm-hmm.
If you just have the O levels, then you can start university directly. You don't need a foundation year. So yeah, we have students. They come, they get some college credit. We also have students that start directly in the first year, but it's a 4 year program. The first year for your bachelor's students, the first year is a lot of general studies courses. We call it general studies, university studies, because you take, you know, English, math, science, art, history, the general subjects, no matter what your major, right? If you're coming for engineering or you're coming for biology or you're coming for computer science, you still take these general studies courses. And by the second year and the third year, then you really start to focus more on your major. But in the
All right.
beginning,
Okay.
general
Mm-hmm.
studies.
Great, great. So, the next question, which is generally being asked, that is about the post-study work visa. Uh, I hope I'm asking very basic questions, but the questions which are basic for us, they're not basic for maybe the students. So I'm just trying to
Sure,
let them get an idea how it is in USA.
sure.
So okay, if a student goes there for study, let's say UG program, undergrad program for 4 years, or maybe 18 months to 24 months for PG program. So what should they expect in the PSW basically? What's the duration of PSW?
Right. So we have a really good system in the US. Students can work after graduation. They can get work authorization for 3 years. So this is very, very, very popular. Almost all students do this. And what's amazing about it is you can work full time, right? and you don't need a new visa. You don't need to apply for a visa. You can work with your student visa. Okay, and we call it OPT, optional practical training. Very popular. Like I said, almost all students do this. So what I would recommend, the really important thing is that you join a STEM program. So not all programs are STEM. Okay, so what is STEM? STEM is science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Okay, so if you're joining a program in engineering or a program in IT or a program in computer science or data analytics or biology, chemistry, these are STEM programs, mathematics, statistics, some economics programs. Even we have like some finance programs, some economics programs, the MBA. We have MBA programs also, which are STEM designated. And this means that if you graduate from a program like this, you can work for 3 years after graduation. You can get a work authorization for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
If you graduate from a program that's not STEM, you can still work, but it's only for 1 year. You get 1 year of work authorization. Okay. So that's why a lot of international students, they come to the US, they want to apply, they want to graduate from a STEM program because it gives 3 years of work authorization. And that's a great opportunity because you can work full time, you can make a salary, and you can get a lot of work experience that way.
All right, all right, okay. And the next and most important question from the students, that what if we study over there and we get the PSW? How likely is it to start our career while staying in USA? Uh, are there extension options, or we get some jobs, employability ratios, basically? So such kind of frame of mind they come across, or they come in our offices with. So is it some question appropriate to you?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. It's not really my area of expertise just because
Yeah,
it that kind of happens
I just took
after
some
your.
liberty. I just took
No,
some
it's okay.
liberty to pitch in this question.
No, I get that question a lot. So it's really up to your employer. Your employer can sponsor you for the work visa. I think it's like the H-1B visa. They can uh, support your application for that visa. And I know a lot of our students get it. I'm not sure the exact number, but my feeling is most eventually get it. I don't think it's easy, but I know a lot of people do get that. And it's really up to your employer, you know.
All right.
So
Okay. Okay.
one
Great.
one thing one thing to keep in mind, especially if you're a bachelor's student, is you can get you can come here for your bachelor's degree. When you graduate, you can get the 3 years of work authorization, and then you can go after. Let's say you work for 3 years and you don't get sponsored by your company. You can go back and you can get a master's degree. After you finish your master's degree, you get another 3 years of work authorization.
All
Okay,
right.
so you can work again for 3 years after your master's. So you'll have a lot, especially if you're a bachelor student listening, you'll have a lot of opportunities to get work experience in the U.S. and work with a few companies, and hopefully one of those companies will support you for the work visa.
All right. So how about the onshore admissions? If somebody has done undergrad from there, UG from there, then enjoyed the PSW for, let's say, up to 3 years, and a student wants to continue studies, let's say from the same campus, take an example of Rowan. So can they take admission while staying on the land USA, or they technically have to come back? to the country, and then they would have to apply again. For example, can I help a student who has done undergrad and went through our company GSL and
Mhm.
did the part, and then later he wants us to please help me moving further with my admission processes through BPP to the same
You can.
university. So can we do that?
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. We have a lot of students that do that. You can continue to help your students. We'd love to help them. And it's pretty normal to do that. They don't need to apply for a new visa.
Mhm.
As long as they are in the US and their I-20 is active, they can apply for a university, they can get a new I-20, and they don't need to apply for the visa again. They don't need to leave the US. They can stay in the US.
All right, all right, okay, okay, all
Now, if they
right.
want to
So,
travel back home, then they need to get
uh-huh.
a new visa. But if they want to stay in the US, the most important thing is to have the active I-20. And if the I-20 is active, then they can stay in the US.
All right. So meanwhile, we have some questions on the screen. Also, I would like you to be directed over there. I had some innocent
Yeah,
questions I asked already. So let me just take some more questions from here. Thank you very
good.
much for joining us, dear students and friends. Um, okay. So the thing is, the first question is, in Pakistan, we used to have a 14-year degree in the past. So it was basically 12 plus 2 plus 2 in Pakistan. So it was
Mhm,
HSSC 12 years plus 2 years BCom or BA or such associate
mhm.
degrees, and then an MA, which was basically overall 16 education. So they're trying to ask if somebody has 14-year education, BCom or BA, can they apply to US? If yes, then in which capacity would they be applying?
Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty common. You would be still applying for a bachelor's degree. So
Mm-hmm.
what you could do is apply for a bachelor's degree, but you're going to be like a transfer student. So your courses, your Bachelor of Arts degree courses, can transfer to the bachelor's program here in the US. So you'll probably be able to finish the bachelor's here in about 2 years. So yeah, you can do that. Absolutely.
All right. So that means that if they have 14 education already, so they would be somehow exempted with a year from the USA.
Yeah,
Would there be some
about two
exemptions?
years. Yeah,
About two
you should get
years.
about two years of college credit.
All right. Great. 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 So yeah, if you're somebody who has done BA or BCom, so you have options in USA. Even you would have to stay less in the university or college. Okay, the next one is, are there any scholarships available for network students from Pakistan? Yes, we have discussed about the scholarships already. We have scholarships up to 40,000 US dollars, depending upon the university you choose. And yeah, the basic scholarships, of course, they are there. Do we have any sports based scholarship other than the regular scholarship? Do we have such scholarship, Tyson?
Yeah, those types of scholarships are available. Whenever we have an athlete, I usually try to get them connected with the coach for whichever
Okay.
sport they play. Just keep in
Okay.
mind, like the sports here in the US are very competitive, you know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, if you're a great player, whichever
I
sport,
I think not
let's get you
cricket.
connected.
Rest is very competitive. Other than cricket.
Yeah, the U.S. we're not big. We're not big a big cricket country. I think there are some universities. None of my universities, but there are universities in the U.S. that have cricket, but not too many.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, okay. So next is, it's a bit direct question, but I have asked you many, so again I'll try to put it in front of you. It's that's what's the study visa approval ratio for Pakistani students applying these days for USA?
It's good. Yeah, I mean, it's very good. The visa is always difficult, but
Okay.
we will do our best, and I'll do my best to help your students. So that's one of the great things, Mubarak, is applying through GSO. Your students are going to get visa prep, before they go into the interview. And that's one thing that I do as well. I have a couple of
Uh-huh.
students I'm meeting right after this presentation with you. I'm meeting a few students, and we're going to go over the visa interview questions in a mock interview. So, yeah, I mean, is it guaranteed? No, but you are, a couple things that are important. Apply to a good university, right? So a university with a good reputation, and try to get a scholarship. If you're a good student, you should get a big scholarship, and you
Hmm.
need to have the funding from your parents, right? So if you have all of those, admission to a good university, a good scholarship, and you have the funding from your parents, then, or your family, then you should have a very, very good chance of getting the visa. Okay, we have good visa approval for all of our schools in Pakistan.
All right, great. Moving forward, Miss Sara has a question. She says, am I allowed to work part time during my studies? You have somehow touched it. If you could just give a summary of that.
Yep, yep, absolutely. You can work on campus. Again, it's not going to pay for your education, and it's not going to pay for your living expenses. You need to have support from your family. Studying in the
Yeah,
US expensive. But yeah, you can work on campus part-time. We Most international students work on campus. Most
yeah, yeah.
international students find a
I would
job like
say,
a coffee shop, or in the cafeteria. You can make $600 a month, $700 a month. And that sounds like a lot. It's just keep in mind the U.S. is expensive. The living expenses uh, are higher here than Pakistan. But yeah, you can work on campus. I recommend it. Focus on your studies first. But if you can manage both, then yeah, find a job on campus. You can make a little bit of extra money.
you are highlighting that it's expensive, but I would say it's expensive, but it's still worth it, right? Um
Absolutely.
imagine a small pencil and it says made in USA, the impact it would have basically. So that's what I
Exactly.
want my students
Exactly.
to experience. So if they are a graduate from top rank universities like BPP has over there, so there's nothing like it, I would say. In fact, if I could have been younger, I could have applied myself for you, Tyson. Maybe I'm applying for PhD. That brings
Nice.
me to
Nice.
another
Yeah.
to next question also. That do we have PhD programs at our universities? Can we support the doctorate programs?
hmm Yeah, we do. So, Duquesne University, that's a top ranked university, top 200 in the US. We have
Uh huh.
PhD programs at Duquesne. We have PhD programs at UMBC as well. Those are the main universities that we can support for PhD.
All
Generally, our
right, great.
students are bachelors or masters, but sure, we can definitely support for PhD applicants as well.
All right. So we have another question. It's again about the finances, I believe. It says when we can get I-20 from the university and guide for required bank statement as well. So about I-20 and about the bank statement, the finances in general, if you could brief the students
hmm
about that.
hmm Sure. So we have a very standard process when you're applying to universities in the US. You apply for admission first. Okay. We don't need a bank statement. We just need your passport, a copy of your passport, a copy of your transcripts, and your language test scores like IELTS, TOEFL, Duolingo. Those are the main requirements. We don't need a bank statement. And then once you're admitted, Usually it takes about 2 weeks. Our universities are very fast to give the
Yes, they are.
admission.
True that.
Once you're admitted, then you can request the I-20. And to get the I-20, you do need a bank statement. The bank
Mm-hmm.
statement should be, it depends on the university, but generally around 30,000 US dollars. Okay, depending on the
Uh-huh.
university. Some are more expensive, some are less expensive, but generally you'll need about $30,000 to get the bank statement. And then you submit the bank statement, and the I-20 usually is issued within about 5 business days. And then you can apply for the visa. Then we
Mm-hmm.
move to the next step, preparing you for the visa interview and going in for the visa interview. So it's a pretty simple process, but it's good to have somebody like Mubarak,
Okay.
myself. We can help you a lot with it. We can make sure you're, number one, applying to a very good university. You're getting a maximum scholarship, and then when you're ready for the visa interview, we're going to make sure that you're prepared. We'll make sure that you have all the information you need to get the visa approved.
All right, great, great, great. So students do have a concern about the initial deposit of the universities also. Um, uh, and how about the students paying after visa? So how about all this? Is there some initial deposit part? Or you see, I know there are universities at our panel who allow us to pay once the student get the visa. So how about this policy? Can you just highlight this, please?
Most of our schools do not require a deposit. So usually you will pay for tuition once you get registered for classes. Typically you can get registered a little bit before the start of the semester. But generally speaking, no deposit. Some of our schools do $500. Some schools $250. Most of the universities in the U.S. do not require a deposit. Does the
All right.
low? Yeah, the biggest. I saw that
Allow me to
follow up question.
speak allow me to speak in Urdu for now, please. Can I speak for
Yeah,
one
yeah.
minute?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
अच्छा, वो जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं जो यूएसए जाने की ट्राई कर रहे हैं या यूएसए जाना चाहते हैं, उनको गलत गाइड किया जा रहा है कि आप यूएसए बहुत एक्सपेंसिव है, आपको बहुत ज़्यादा खर्चे करने पड़ रहे हैं। द थिंग इज़ ओवर हियर कि जो यूएसए के वीज़ाज़ का प्रोसेस है, वो काफ़ी स्मूथ है और सबसे अच्छी बात ये है कि आप जब अप्लाई करते हैं, अप्लाई करने के इट्स वेरी चीप इन द केस कि जब तक आपका वीज़ा नहीं आता, तब तक आपके पास आपको कोई परेशानी नहीं है कि फीसें जमा होंगी, फिर फी रिफंड होगी, किसी लंबे प्रोसेस की रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है। पाकिस्तान से अगर मैं गलत नहीं हूँ, तो आपके वीज़ा आने तक का खर्चा बहुत भी ज़्यादा खर्चा आप कर लें तो 4 से 5 लाख से ऊपर नहीं जाता, इंक्लूडिंग ऑल। I-20 की फीस भी डाल दें, सर्विस डाल दें, हर चीज़ आप डाल दें। So it's a very good opportunity for the students, I would say, and we still have a bit of more time, so you can ask more about that. Thank you, Tyson, for letting me speak in Urdu. By the way, so I wanted it to for the parents, I believe, who were with us. So I wanted to speak in the regional language for them. All right.
Sure.
So you mentioned about the follow-up question. So you want to proceed with that?
I forgot what it was. No, I
All right.
I think we answered. I think we got it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I think we
we are
got
there.
it.
We did that. Okay, okay. So I have a very specific question from ma'am. Her name is Bushra Hashmi. She says, "Is this university offering a program in MPhil in literature or linguistics? If so, are there any scholarships available?" So do we have arts programs like literature and linguistics?
Yeah, we have Master of Arts in English. We have Master of Arts in Teaching English. So yeah, we
Okay.
have both of those programs.
All right. Okay. So the
Yeah, those
standard
are.
scholarship applies on the same programs, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, generally, uh, just to let you know, like most master's programs in the US don't have scholarships, but she could look at a
Mm-hmm.
university like Rowan University, very, very affordable, $30,000 total tuition for the master's degree. You could look
Mm-hmm.
at Arkansas State, also very affordable, around 28,000 for the entire master's degree.
Mm-hmm.
We can also look at even University of West Florida, also about $28,000 to $30,000 for the entire master's degree. So yeah, literature, English literature, teaching English, we have those.
All right, all right. Miss Sara, thank you for your great participation. I feel like there are 4 or 5 different questions from you. Seems like Sara is going to be the next one to go to USA from GSL, I guess. She has another question. She says, "Does low deposit affect visa decision?" So, can you please clear this myth once for all that if they deposit or if they don't, if they deposit low or if they deposit full, so does it have something to do with the visa process?
No, because it's not a question that the visa officer is going to ask. And just because you make a deposit, um, even the visa officer is not doesn't know if you're telling the truth or not. So
So
um,
he's concerned about the I-20, right? Is that
right.
issued or
So
not?
for the I-20 doesn't show if you make a deposit or not. So
Yeah.
there's no official document that
Mm-hmm.
you can have that would show that you made a deposit. So the visa
Yeah.
officer isn't going to rely on that at all, right?
Okay. Okay.
The most important thing you can do to make sure you get the visa is number one, apply. You have to do your research. You have to look at several universities. Okay, you
Mm-hmm.
have to apply for the university that's best for you. And that's where
Mm-hmm.
Mubarak and I can help you a lot. We have a lot of universities. We spoke about a few universities today, but there are many universities that we can help you with. So you have to research the universities. You have to apply to several universities, and then you wait for the universities to come back, and
Mm-hmm.
you want to choose a university that has a good scholarship, right? You want to choose a university that has a good reputation. If you go to the visa interview and you're admitted to a good university and you
Mm-hmm.
can explain why you want to study at that university, and you can show the visa officer, look, here's my I-20. I have a scholarship. I chose this university because, and you can give good reasons, then you should have no problem getting the visa. So
All right.
that's what we're here for. We want to, first of all, help you apply to good universities, and we want you to get a scholarship, and then we can prepare you for the visa interview. And that will maximize your chances. The deposit, first, it's not gonna make a difference. It's not required, and it's not gonna make a difference. But what will make a difference is being admitted to a good university and the scholarship.
All right. Great. How about the recent progress that uh, the visa officer is going to look into the social media histories? Is that true? Like about the posting and all, what kind of content do the guys post? And is that supporting USA somehow or against USA? How about this
Right.
news? Is yeah.
I really don't know that one. I heard that some rumors, like that, but I really don't know if they look at that or not. I'm not sure. It's possible they do, but I don't know.
All right, all right, all right. Great, Tyson.
Yeah.
Anything other than the regular talk we have, we you want to highlight for our students as maybe concluding remarks or something which we are missing in the session? Since I believe you have a great day at Vietnam already. And is that hot?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's warm. It's warm here. Yeah, it's warm. I've been here a week, and I go back to the U.S. later this week. So
All
it's already
right. All right.
like some almost. It's springtime in the U.S., but here it's definitely it's summer. It's hot. It's hot here.
All
No,
right.
Mubarak,
Okay.
I think it was a great session. I feel like we had some really good questions from the students, and you always have great questions for me. Just to close, just to say, now is a good time to apply for admission. Okay, the
Right.
universities in the U.S. are very eager to get more students from Pakistan.
Mm-hmm.
So the scholarships are very good. The application processing time is very good. We have application fee waivers. You can apply still for the September intake. We don't have a lot of time, but you can still apply for the September intake. And I hope you apply through Mubarak and his team. They're experts. They know what they're doing. So I would love to see more applications from the students with us today, Mubarak. So thank you for your
Sure.
time.
Sure.
I
Sure.
appreciate it.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. Stay cold. Enjoy your day. And
Yes.
surely we're meeting sooner, maybe in USA or in Pakistan. That's our choice. We'll surely get in touch again. Thank you once again. You are really a person I love to listen to every time, and
Thank you,
always you
sir.
give
Thank
us
you, sir.
news about USA, and most importantly, one thing I like about BPP and you in general is you guys are really up to date about. What's going on around, and you don't hide anything in general. You mention what you know, and you say I don't know about that. That's the beauty of this talk. Thank you very much once again. God bless Pakistan and the United States of America. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank
Thank
you,
you very much.
Mubarak. Take care,
Take care.
everybody.
Bye bye.
Bye
Take care.
bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.